bit trickier. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator is necessary because both fractions need to have the same denominator. Then we're going to convert all fractions to new fractions using the new LCD. Then we're going to add or subtract the numerators and keep the denominator the same. So if we look at number 1 over here, the denominators are already the same. I have 8s. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the numerators. 3 plus 1 is 4, but you're going to keep the denominator the same. And of course, you always have to reduce. So I should write over here, always reduce at the end. Okay? So 4 over 8 reduces because I can divide 4 by 4, and I can divide 8 by 4. So it reduces to 1/2. Okay, number 2 over here, the lowest common denominator. Well, the way you're going to find it is you're going to list all the multiples of 5. So the multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, so on. And you're going to list all the multiples of 20. I'm looking at the denominator, so the multiples of 20 are 20, 40, 60, and so on. The lowest multiple they have in common is that 20. So the LCD should be 20 for both of them. Okay, so the first fraction already has an LCD of 20 that doesn't need to change. What you're going to do to figure out how to convert the second fraction to 20 is you're going to say, okay, 20 divided by 5 is 4, so I got to multiply my top by 4. Okay, then go ahead and subtract. 13 minus 4 is 9. Leave the denominator the same. 9 over 20 does not reduce, so that's the final answer. Let's take a look at number 3 here. These double negatives, negative times a negative is a positive, right? So really, that is a 16 over 25 plus a 3 over 10. Let's look for the lowest common multiple here. So the multiples of 25 are 25, 50, 75, and so on. The multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. The lowest common multiple here is 50. That's the lowest one they have in common. So my LCD is 50. Okay, now to figure out how to make that 25 into a 50, take 50 divided by 25, that's 2. That's what you got to multiply the top by. So 2 times 16 is 32. Now take 50 divided by 10 is 5, so you got to multiply the top by 5. Okay, now go ahead and just add these two. 32 plus 15 is 47. Keep the denominator the same. 47 over 50 does not reduce. Let's try number 4. I got 2 negatives, so I'm going to add the 2 negatives and keep the same sign. So my sign of my final answer is going to be negative. But first I got to find the lowest common multiple, the lowest common denominator. I got to make that 5 over 1 because it's really a fraction, 5 over 1. So we got to list the multiples of 4, which are 4, 8, 12, and so on. Okay. Now we got to list the multiples of 1, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The lowest common multiple here is the 4. So both of my fractions need to have a denominator of 4. That first fraction doesn't need to change. For the second fraction, just go 4 divided by 1 is 4, so I got to multiply the top by 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, I got negative 3 over 4 minus 20 over 4, so let's add the 2 negatives at the top. That gives me a negative 23, and keep the 4 at the bottom. In case you want to convert this to a mixed number, 4 goes into 23 5 times, and I get a remainder of 3. Okay, let's try example 5. Again, you need a lowest common denominator here, right? So I got to put that negative 6 over 1. The lowest common denominator between 1 and 8 is 8. And the way you do it is you list all the multiples of 1, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you list all the multiples of 8, which are 8, 16, and so on. The lowest one they have in common is 8. So 8 divided by 1 is 8. And I got to multiply that 8 times 6. And that second fraction doesn't change. So now let's just go ahead and take negative 48 plus 5. That comes out to a negative 43. Put it over 8. You can convert that back to mixed number because 8 goes into 43 5 times. with a remainder of 3. And finally, number 6, 2/5 minus 4. Again, you got to put that 4 over 1, or you don't have two fractions to work with here. The LCD here is 5, and the reason I know that is because if you list all the multiples, the lowest multiple that they have in common is 5. So we need them both to be 5s. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. So that fraction didn't change. 5 divided by 1 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. Now just go ahead and take 2 minus 20, which is negative 18. Put it over 5. Negative 18 over 5. You can convert that to mixed number because 5 goes into 18 3 times, and I get a remainder of 3. Okay, again, if you have any questions with this learning module, before you start your practice problems, go ahead and talk to our curriculum assistant. Good luck.